Alright guys, on this week's episode, it's going to consist of my late October through rifle season at the middle of November. Let's get things kicked off with my October 23rd evening hunt and see how it goes from there. Alright guys, here we are. October 23rd, it's a little after 5 o'clock. I just got settled into the Basnett blind. Now there's a monster trail. I just walked to check the other scrapes. Of course, there's leaves all over. We had that major front windstorm, rain. It actually flooded the road a little bit. But Jeff's up on the ridge. Got Jordan over here in the food plot. Hopefully we can get this job done tonight. So I love doing my season today. Hopefully this is the start of a beautiful evening. That little yearling, it fed around there for probably a half hour or so and went back in the same way it came. Now, meanwhile, Jeff was back on the hill hunting and he saw a couple bucks that was on our hit list, but they was just too far out of range for him. Now, on the morning of the 24th, I never saw a deer, but had a few cattle moving through. Alright, after the cows moved out of there, I decided I was going to move a tree stand. I hadn't seen much action all season. Back on the ridge where it was torn up. And I decided I was going to sit in there for the evening hunt. Alright guys, here we are. It's the evening hunt. October 24th. It's a little after 5 o'clock right now. I just got the ladder stand moved. Up here on the ridge where I mean it is slammed, tore up with rubs. I thought I could see farther over the bank, but I can definitely see down a couple flats here. Of course, got this whole ridge behind me loaded with acorns. That buck, there's two bucks last night, came through this flat and dropped over right down there and wrapped around Jeff. So I'm hoping with all this sign right here around these pine trees that they're coming out of this hollow down here and they're working over this ridge and coming right by me. It's 35 yards down to that tree. And we'll just hang in there and see what happens. I don't think it was even 5 minutes after I turned that camera off. I turned behind me and here comes the first deer. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out what spooked that yearling. But shortly after that, I spotted another deer coming, and it was another yearling too. I keep hearing something on the flat below me. Can't see it. I thought being up this high I'd be able to look over and see it, but this wind's still bad. Now it's blown kind of back, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna load up and get out of here before I do too much damage. Just wind. See that road where they come up at right down here, and that wind's shifting that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it evening. On the evening hunt of the 26th, I got a nice surprise from the get-go. Alright guys, here we are. It's October 26th. I just climbed in the tree. And I've got a buck down here rubbing a tree on the next flat below me. Seen that old tree just a wobble. I just gave him some grunts. This is why I moved this stand here, to catch the early movement. I knew it was going to be between this flat and that flat. But with all the rubs up through here, I thought they would really hammer this one. Alright, so 45 minutes passed. There was no deer coming. And I was starting to get a little confused. Hopefully that wasn't my shooters and I'm not sitting here wasting time. Hopefully that's not the last deer I'll see or hear. I got deer running somewhere. She's getting pretty dark. I got about 10 more minutes of shooting light. This might just happen, boy. I'm just out of camera light, guys. Even though those bucks decided to come in a little bit late, or I couldn't get a good shot off of, it was still an exciting evening. Guys, October 30th, evening hunt. Running a little bit behind right now. It's 5:30. I put out a little bit of a, I think it's called power scrape or something. So got it here and I got it over here. I got a wick hanging up over here on this side because that's where the bucks. That's the scrape. The majority of the bucks. I had like 57 videos or something on there right now. So mosquitoes are freaking. It's about 80 degrees. It's probably 75 now. It just turned overcast. Supposed to have rain moving in tonight, which is going to bring in a little bit of a cold front. Of course, I won't get the hunt tomorrow. Taking my daughter to orthodontist, and then Tuesday we're back up into almost 80 degrees again as a high. But I'm in a little different spot in the field. Instead of sitting on the far end over here, I'm 20 yards away from this scrape. I'm about 30 yards away from the main scrape, directly across from the feeder. And should be interesting. She's getting dark, boys. Thunders are coming. I think I picked a bad time not to stake the blind there. Now I'm getting leaked on. Alright guys, I'm gonna get off here. Yeah. Now that was a rough evening, just trying to keep the blind over top of my head. Well, sweet November rolled in, and I headed to the new farm to make my first morning set in that ridge stand that I hung a few weeks prior. Now as day broke, I heard a couple bucks fighting in a hollow off to my left, so I decided I was just going to ride it out in that stand and hoping that they would come in. Around 9:20, I just happened to turn around and glance, and I seen old Johnny Red back here bearing his nuts. "20 minutes later, as expected, the turkey parade came in, and after they worked around there for a little bit and they worked off, that was the last action I seen for the morning of the November 1st. On the morning of the 7th, I was back at it, and chasing a pretty good buoy that has been on my hit list pretty much all season. Alright guys, 6:30 Monday morning, November 7th. I'm going to try to squeak one in here. It's about 35 degrees. This is normally about the time, anywhere from 7:30 till 8:30. That big old beast. He ain't got a rack worth of crap, but he's a decent 8-pointer. One side's a little bit smaller than the other one. But if he comes in, I'm gonna let the air out of him. He's an old beast. Squirrels have already come out. Fog. So I'll sit back here and be as quiet as I can, and hoping to tag out on this fine morning. A little before 8, I had a couple of youngsters roll in and work themselves off. Been almost an hour since those two deer come up, a little spike and a little yearling. The yearling read the script perfectly. She got within 15 yards and walked up this trail behind me and worked herself right on through my shooting path. These thermals are rising. Of course, it's colder now. I love that steam. But these are the kind of mornings that dreams are made of. That's the thing this time of year. We seen one of our other shooters about a mile from here last night. Locked down on a doe. She went right, he went right. But he wasn't pushing her or anything. He was just he was there waiting on her to be ready. I think I passed my good days of hunting up. I'm gonna hold out here a little bit longer and hopefully one of them big boys will show up. Once again, nothing showed up, and I just called it a day. The following week on the 14th, I was back at the farm hunting the same stand, hoping something a little bigger would show up besides those yearlings. Welcome to a beautiful November 14th morning. 6:45 right now. Temps around 32. I already had a buck run the doe up through there. I've run a drag line up to try to catch that movement going below me over here. And also as a cover scent, I have sprayed a dominant buck on this tree and limbs above me. Because we got a crappy wind. Of course, nothing has come up out there since I've sat in this tree stand. But I want to make sure I cover my spot. It's supposed to have a south-southwest wind. And it's coming out of the west, or the east. This stretch last year was good to us. I mean, Basnett, I think we dropped 4 deers in 4 days. This is the Monday that, of course, last year was 16th, but this year it's 14th. This is the inaugural day that I killed Hightower. So I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna grunt. I'm gonna bleat. I may even do a little bit of rattling too. You guys stay tuned. I'm hoping the action will pick up quickly. $8 o'clock. The phone says 25 degrees out here. I had the yearling come in there about 10 after 7. I was getting ready to do this about 15 minutes ago and heard some running behind me over here. Of course, over the bank. They're normally, I would say, 8:30 to 9. If there's nothing up here on this flat, something going on. We got at least 3 vehicles up there at that hunt cabin. And we see at least one buck rack laying outside. Not saying they come in here and push deer, trespass, whatever, but something went wrong somewhere. After checking the cameras last night, I was very disappointed that there wasn't as much buck action. So that's kind of leading me to believe that they're in lockdown mode right now with these does. They're just not moving that much. They're going right where the does go. I think for the most part the seeking is over. But this property's only got 2 bedding areas. So basically it is just a big travel route up on this hill. So anyway, let's wrap this up. Hopefully we get some action in here, but I'm not going to turn it back on until I'm ready to leave, if not, so stay tuned, guys. As you can tell from mid-October to right where we're breaking that right here, it was not a very good few weeks. Nothing but yearlings, 1.5-year-old deer. Seen a couple good does, but nothing. None of the big boys produced. The cameras were showing them about every night, but daytime activity was not working. So next week, we're going to cut into part 2, and we're going to continue from this point on, right till beginning of rifle season. So I hope you guys will come back and see if we can see what happens in part 2.